Today I bring you 7 possible lineups. 7 possible lineups for Barcelona without Lionel Messi. The Engine Room podcast is now live. Links in the description down below. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And indeed, it's gonna be hard for me to make this video because there's no Messi here, but just like I mentioned before in the last video, Messi was a luxury player, so he occupied a single position for every single lineup, but now it's gonna be different. So of course there's gonna be way more different options, and here's what I got. I have 3 different formations and within them different variations of them. Well, actually 4 formations. So let's start with that one where I put an asterisk next to my name. And this is the best one, the one that I like the most currently, and the one that I believe that will be making the most appearances at the start of the season whilst the other players, especially the wingers, come back from injury. Let's take a look at my formation of a 4-1-2-1-2. On screen right now, you'll be able to see what I have here discussed for you guys. I'm going to be going with Ter Stegen, Dest, Araujo, Eric Garcia and Alba to make up the defense, then Busquets, Pedri and De Jong to make up kind of the first half of the midfield, then Coutinho just behind the front two of Memphis Depay and Antoine Griezmann. I really like this formation because we're sort of making the best out of the different players that Barcelona currently have, especially the rejects per se, so Griezmann and Coutinho. And the other thing is that I believe that in Griezmann and Coutinho, we're sort of having a mismatch of the qualities that Messi previously had. So you have Griezmann kind of drifting from that right forward position into the inwards kind of central area of the front line with his left foot, and he'll be able to shoot from outside the box, connect in a very similar way to what Jordi Alba did with Messi in the past. Of course, not at the same effectiveness, but hopefully we would like that to see replicated. And we have Coutinho kind of playing from that inwards position and just acting as the number 10. He doesn't have the same contributions as Lionel Messi, of course, but he was very good at Liverpool in this similar position, and I believe that this is something that Barcelona should exploit. If there's one player that could benefit out of the most from Messi just, well, departing the club sadly, I believe it's going to be the Brazilian. I believe it's going to be Philippe Coutinho. The other thing that this formation actually helps a lot with is the fact that we're going to be having the fullbacks really exploit the wing positions, because we're going to be seeing mostly Memphis Depay and Griezmann kind of cutting inwards. And I believe that then Jordi Alba and Dest, or Emerson presumably in this formation, well, Dest here I put in because I would just believe he has more attacking prowess than the Brazilian. They're going to be exploiting this well flanks very easily, and I really like that. I believe that's something that width is something that Barcelona were lacking the previous season and the one seen before that. So let's see if this formation can actually make it do. And I believe this is one that we're going to be seeing very early into this season. This next formation is a 4-2-3-1, which is a formation that Koeman wanted to play right from the get-go. This is a formation that has been utilized before by the Netherlands national team. We've seen it with Bayern Munich, and this is a formation that is very physical. You need to all be very smart and centered about what you're going to be doing, and that is basically pressuring collectively as a team. This, of course, is going to be in an ideal world where Koeman has actually managed to instate the pressuring system and philosophy back into Barcelona, trying to recuperate the ball as further away from their own box and trying to restart the exchange and change the tides from attack to defense way faster, way simpler, and that is something that Koeman will need to work with, but if he manages to achieve this, well, it's going to be very good. This formation is going to be seeing Ter Stegen, Emerson, Araujo, Eric Garcia and Jordi Alba. Since this formation is very attacking, I've decided to add Emerson there instead of Dest because I think he's better all around as a fullback. The two in behind, I'm going to be putting De Jong and Pedri. No Busquets here because Busquets, as we've seen before in this formation, cannot utilize his movement, mobility as he did before. So I believe that Pedri, playing here, for instance, very similar to what he did in Spain in the Euros, acting as a double pivot, he would work very well here in this formation. We have then behind the striker, which is going to be Memphis Depay, Griezmann, Coutinho and Ansu Fati. I believe that especially the work of Ansu Fati here is going to be precise. It could be Ansu Fati, it could be Dembélé, but I think that Ansu Fati is higher up the pecking order. Wingers are going to be extremely helpful in this 4-2-3-1 because you need Griezmann also to act as an inwards player and be able to occupy the spaces through the middle. Maybe Memphis even could play for the left and Ansu Fati for the right. We're going to be yet to see that, but this basically will have to be a very pressuring and attacking front four. And I believe that teams like Spurs, teams like Bayern Munich that have utilized this formation before, they mostly rely on a very good defensive setup and a very good pressuring system that Barcelona doesn't currently have. So like I said before, this is an ideal world situation. But then guys, moving on into the most likely of formation, here's the 4-3-3 that I have with the first variation. Here I'm going to be going with Ter Stegen, Emerson, Araujo, Eric Garcia and Jordi Alba. In the midfield I'm going to be going with Busquets, De Jong, Pedri, and at top I'm going to put in Griezmann, Memphis and Ansu Fati. I think that this formation is the one that most fans really would like to see. If you're putting your best players into a system, they will certainly have to be it. Ansu Fati and Griezmann for the wings are going to be something that I believe could be very helpful. Ansu Fati, I believe, is just going to be stretching up what we needed, and he's going to be the finisher that we all kind of previously lacked. He's going to be having a very good intersection with Memphis Depay. I think that could work very nicely. Their exchange in different situations and just occupying the spaces as the one previously did could make defenders just be very confused and not really know who to mark. I think that could be very good. And then Antoine Griezmann just drifting in through the right and using his preferred left foot is going to be an ideal world. I think the midfield is also the best that we see last season, and I think the distribution of Busquets is going to be really excelling in this formation. The second variation that I have for you guys is, well, Ter Stegen, Emerson, Araujo, Eric Garcia, Alba, Busquets, De Jong, Coutinho, Griezmann, Memphis, and Ansu Fati. And well guys, I made this variation because I wasn't sure about the previous formation, and basically Memphis and Griezmann, are they going to be good enough creatively to surmount the chances that Barcelona need to create? I feel that the midfield is lacking a little bit when it comes to those creative duties. I think Pedri is good circulating the ball, but he's not as creative as he will potentially be in the future. And De Jong is very good running into the box and becoming this, well, like I said, box-to-box midfielder. He's been very good last season, but also he's not as creative perhaps as someone like Messi could have been when he drops inside into that same midfield. Griezmann could do that, but will that cut it? I don't know if Griezmann is creative enough like Messi from the right wing. So I've added Coutinho just to see whether the Brazilian can add an extra flair into that midfield. If we are lacking creatively, maybe Coutinho over Pedri could be a very good choice. And last but not least here guys, I have a 4-3-3 with, I believe, the most balanced setup currently. And that is Ter Stegen, Emerson, Araujo, Eric Garcia and Jordi Alba, De Jong as playing in the Busquets role, Pedri, Coutinho, Griezmann, Memphis and Ansu Fati. If I were to play this formation, I believe we could use it basically where we need to open up teams, where we're playing the most competitive sides and they're really making us a tough time to try and score a goal past them. I'm looking at Atletico Madrid, for instance. I'm looking at teams that could be like Inter in the Champions League. I'm looking at sides that are just going to be very good all around. And I believe that here, playing Coutinho in the midfield alongside Pedri could work very well. They have very good balance. De Jong playing as a CDM could also work very nicely. And we are not losing anything of what Ansu Fati could do in the wings. Same with Antoine Griezmann and also Memphis Depay through the middle. I believe that Coutinho, for instance, playing as a left wing and keeping Busquets inside could work. I added actually here on my list, but eventually we're going to be relying on a very similar problem that we had before with Valverde. And it's that Coutinho just wants to play for the middle, Memphis wants to play for the middle, and Griezmann wants to play for the middle. So we need a natural winger. We need someone to be able to stretch out the defense. And that is something that Ansu Fati brings you and not Coutinho. So putting Coutinho in the midfield could give you the creativity that you need, the balance from De Jong, the work rates from Pedri, but still be able to open up a defense with Ansu Fati through the left. So I like this formation the most, but I think that Koeman will sort of, well, be a little bit reluctant to play it. Maybe, hopefully, by the end of the season, we get to see this or even the following after that. I believe this is a very good one, but we must transition players out of it. The next formation that I bring you guys, well, is a 3 at the back. Here I bring you two different variations. The very first one is a 3-5-2 with Ter Stegen, Dest, Mingueza, Eric Garcia, Araujo and Jordi Alba, Busquets, De Jong, Pedri and Memphis and Griezmann. This is a formation where eventually we're going to be relying a lot on the creativity from Los Carrileros, from the wingbacks in Jordi Alba and Serginho Dest. We've seen it last season that perhaps in games like PSG we needed even more creativity, we needed better finishing. Hopefully Memphis can bring you that, hopefully Griezmann can give you that as well. But I'll be thinking that we need to be more creative a little bit. This is very solid of a team. You have Mingueza, which is I just love Mingueza. He's very aggressive as a center back. But perhaps we're lacking a little bit there through the creativity because Messi was a forward, but also he was a creator. Griezmann can do that? Yes, but we'll see to how extent. This next variation of the back three is sort of the 4-3-3 just to make it a little bit more balanced. And this is actually, well, with Ter Stegen, Dest, Mingueza, Eric Garcia, Araujo and Jordi Alba, Busquets, De Jong, Coutinho, Memphis Depay and Antoine Griezmann. This formation replaces Busquets basically with Coutinho. You give an extra attacking player to be able to open up different situations where you're playing against a more complete team, let's say in the Champions League or something, put Busquets in. But if you're playing in La Liga and you need just to find those extra goals, but they still create a little bit of well, difficulties. Let's say you're playing against a Sevilla, right? And you need to get back into the game, bring in Coutinho, and I think Coutinho could slot in very well here behind the two strikers, just like we showed you in the 4-1-2-1-2. This is a very similar situation, a very similar setup, and I think that Koeman could utilize this in certain situations where, like I said, we need to remain balanced, but also we need some creativity to get back into the game. I think that overall you could see that I'm putting Coutinho in a lot of these different formations. I know that a lot of you hate Coutinho, and well, yeah, I think he's earning way too much, but his wage wasn't really going to affect if Messi stays or not. So eventually I think that we need to make utilize of the players that we bought, and I think that Coutinho is a very good creator. And without Messi, I believe that he could regain some of the form that he was lacking at Barcelona. He got a little bit at Bayern Munich, but certainly was at his best at Liverpool. So I want to know, guys, in the comment box down below, which formation would you go with? I really like the 4-3-3, the third variation, and I like the 4-1-2-1-2, and I even like the last one. I think that I have some certain good formations here, but I want to hear your formation in the comment box down below. There are many different variations. Leave me your best one, your favorite, down. So that's going to be it for right now, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to let me know in the comment box down below. What do you think of this video? What do you think of all of our videos here on the channel? And subscribe for more content just like this one. The Liga season will be beginning very, very soon. So stay tuned for everything that comes your way here in this channel. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.